Yeah, friends, 219. That is the day. Good morning. And here we are again. It is Saturday morning and it is, I believe, 5:19 a.m. And I am about to start my morning routine. How are you doing this morning? I hope you're doing all right. Maybe you're getting ready to end the day. Maybe it's the start of your weekend. It's Friday night, doing something fun, or you're on your way to do something fun. Maybe it's Saturday morning and you're getting ready to start your day, just like me. Whatever it is you're doing, good morning or good evening. Thanks for dropping by. Go ahead and say hello in the chat if you want to say anything. Say hello or give me some encouragement for my workout. And if you want to let me know what you're doing, or if you're interested in sport, any kind of sport, let me know. Kettlebells, club bells, fitness, rugby, hockey, football, American, European, whichever kind of sport you enjoy doing. I'd love to hear from you, because it is also the summer of sports, isn't it? With the Olympic Games full on right now. Maybe you're into athletics, and you're having the summer of your life. Or maybe you really love tennis and you're looking forward to I think, what is the next one? Is it America? US Open? Or is it Australia? Anyway, I am about to start up my mobility. Then I'm going to go through a series of exercises because I'm trying to figure out what my new strength and conditioning program is going to be based on everything I learned the last week in my course. So I'm doing some programming for myself. And I'm going to talk and walk you through some of the things that I'm thinking about as I'm actually doing the exercises and trying to see what kind of weight or what kind of movement I am going to be trying to incorporate into my full body workout. So let's see how that goes this morning. I hope that's going to be interesting and fun. I train for living a healthy a healthy and active life. So that's one of the reasons that I'm doing this. One of my main goals, not to lose weight, not to grow big, but to be strong and to have the stamina and fitness to be able to go out into the world and go on adventures with my family, to keep up with my kids when they're on the playground or any kind of playground. If you have kids, maybe you recognize that. If you have a lot of energy yourself, you might be wondering, well, do I need to work out for that? Well, I don't know about other people, but I do need to maintain my condition in order to keep sprinting and running up and down. And apparently there are different ways to train that. Who knew? Like I always say, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So that's why we're going to get started. First some mobility, then some movement preparation. And once we've done the movement preparation, we're going to cycle through a number of exercises with different weights to get a feel for what I might want to or be able to do at home versus also what I think I might need some gym equipment for. You ready? Then we're going to get started. And we're just going to start with some simple breathing exercises. Hey there, good morning. Thanks for dropping by. I'll be right over to read you a message, all right? Someone else dropped by, thanks, good morning. I'm going to be right over to read your messages, starting up my mobility. Just now, I'd like to create that extra space in my joints, and specifically in my back, to move. Thanks for dropping by this morning. I really appreciate that. And thanks for taking the time to drop me a message. I also really appreciate that. Let's see, a few seconds. Take a look here. Oh, thanks for the 2 likes. Copperman, hello. Christopher Gabriel, hello. How are you doing? Thanks for dropping by and leaving me a message. Hope you're both doing all right. Is it like 6 in the morning where you're at, or is it like 10, 11 in the evening? You're a part of the world. What are you up to? Hope you're doing all right. Let me know. I'd be curious to know. As you can see, it's 5:30 in the morning, and I'm working on my mobility, and then on my core, and then on some strength and just those 4 exercises, or 5 exercises by the way, make a big difference already. My overall upper and lower body mobility. But there's more. That needs to be done. a couple of seconds, take a breather, then continue with mobility, but from a standing position, beginning with the deep squat, and then also some more shoulder mobility. So that's what I'm to right now. And one of the things I'm trying to decide is, what am I going to work on for the first 2 weeks of my program? Is that strength and transferring that into explosive power? Or is that quick recovery, my ability to work intensely for a little bit, intervals, take a rest, and then work again in a challenging way? And there are different intervals to do that. Or just longer term endurance, and actually working on being able to continuously deliver hard work over time. And I can't decide. I want to do everything at the same time, but training full body, or training functional movement in that way, is also about making choices. What I do for 2 weeks, then for 2 weeks, and then for 2 weeks. It's going to be a 6-week block this time, not a 4-week block. But let's see what I come up with, or what I decide. For some of these, I wish I had it before and after. So I wonder if I was this mobile at the beginning of the year, 8 months ago, and how much of this is actually progress. But, can't go back in time and change things. Just look forward, and we have a pretty good record of my progress starting in January of this year. Actually, if you look at my shorts, we go a lot further back. Deep sit. Oh. For some reason, this is one of my favorite exercises. It just feels really good. I've also been working out for about 30 minutes already, so that's pretty nice. Right? It's a good start of the day. See, I think why I want to I almost think that one of the reasons I want to do everything is because I'm afraid I'm not going to be doing enough. But of course, that's ridiculous. Because if I do exercise mobility day on, day off, probably give my body more than enough time to recover and to repair and to grow stronger, which is the whole point of doing all of this, without running the risk of injury or over fatiguing myself over an extended period of time. So what is more important is the kind of programming that I am going to choose to get the results that I want. And the result is general movement and an improvement in my strength. So yeah, things that I am considering in that way. What is the better way for me to tackle this challenge and problem? So some of these core mobility exercises, by the way, I would then incorporate into the routine on the breaks. Let's say I decide I'm going to do a strength program. I'm going to take 2 to 3 minute breaks, and in those 2 to 3 minutes I would spend some time doing a 90-90 or a rocker or the world's greatest stretch, or trying to pick the pears from the tree or the apples, or doing those arm rotations, simply to incorporate mobility and challenge my body to adapt and move better over the course of a full exercise or training session, rather than, like I'm doing right now, dedicating 20 to 30 minutes to it, which, by the way, is also fine, but it's a very different way to invest my time. But I have the time this morning, right? We've been at it for 26 minutes, by the way. Let's move on to some core. Why not? Core is always fun. Provide a good opportunity for some warm up, I'm sure. Or some movement preparation. And as far as I've not done that, my mobility. 20-second break. See if there's another message. I think. Amrit, yo, it has been a while. How are you doing this morning? Are you doing all right? I'm doing good. I had a super interesting week following a course on how to become a personal trainer. It's been a good week, and I'm actually thinking about and trying to incorporate what I've learned also into my own programming. You're doing good. I'm happy to hear that. That's good. What's going on where you're at? How's life been treating you? You doing anything interesting over the weekend? In the meantime, I'm going to do the all fours without dragging a weight, because I have to learn to stay stable when I lift an arm. So this is going to be fun. Oh. Oh. That's just really good for your core. What can I say? Single hand swings. Then we're going to do some more movement prep with the lightweight, because I have a flow for that. With single hand swings, obviously, as a way to challenge the core. I'm picking up a 12 for that because I feel relatively warmed up. But so we've had that. I'm going to just turn off the interval timer for a bit. I'm just going to run through some of the motions and then go through some middle and heavyweight exercises to see what's going on. Yes, Johnny. Hey, good morning. How are you doing, buddy? You doing all right? Hope you're doing okay. Thanks for dropping by again. Got any good plans for the weekend? We've got a birthday party tomorrow. Son's invited. Parents are invited too, so it's a family affair. And today, if it's nice weather, we're going to go out and make the most of the day. Alright, so my warm-up routine is going to consist of swings to elevate my heart rate with a light weight. I just stop shaking the feeling that at this point now 8 kilograms definitely becoming slightly too light. Alright. And then once we've done that, I'm going to do 5 deadlifts, 5 rows, 5 200 cleans, 5 200 presses, and 5 goblet squats. Now, let's look at what that means, because I did the hip bridges during my core workout, also core warm up. Still need to do 5 push-ups for a different range on the press. There we go. Okay. So now I have some weights and some options. As you can see, we don't have to pay particular attention to these two. Those just exist because my sons like to help me set up my gear in the evening. So they have a contribution every day. We have a 12 kilo, a 16 kilo, and I'm going to consider the 20 kilo the heavy weight I have at the moment. I'm probably going to have to order another set of kettlebells for my ambitions. The same weights, but also a set of 24s, but not directly. So let's say I want to do conditioning over time. I'm probably going to pick endurance. Probably going to pick this point 12 because it is heavy enough to pose a challenge. I'm going to do some sort of an interval program with that. So that would be something like 30 seconds, 20 seconds. And then a 10-second rest. 1, 3, 4, 5. Or actually, no. I'd do a minute of swings, for endurance, and then maybe a minute of rest, and then again, like the HIIT sprints I was doing. And then at one point also try to do continuous stream working out. Seems so figuring these things out as I'm talking and mixing things up. I could also say, well, I want to work on the muscular endurance. I'm going to be working for a given amount of time, but with a slightly heavier weight. I can do something like a full body gorilla row. You've seen me do these. Do a slightly higher amount of repetitions with a slightly longer break in between. So that's also an option. But then if I would want to work on my strength, I think the best example here is maybe this one. So now I can press the 16 kilo, right? Let's see what happens with the 20. So I continue the 20. But I won't be able to do more than 1 or 2 proper presses. 20. As you can see. So that becomes strength training, right? With the 16, because I would consider that my max. I would not be able to do that 3 times, not safely at least, and definitely not for multiple sets. So this one, 3 to 6 repetitions in every set, and build that up over time. And the same if I were to look at a row or a deadlift. This is a slightly heavier deadlift, but I would probably need 2 of these, or 2 of those, 32 kilos, which is about 1/3 of my body weight. There's 20 kilos in a deadlift. You need to increase the number of repetitions significantly. Probably up to about 10, which comes into muscular endurance. And since it's not too heavy, probably not hypertrophy. So, I have different options here. I think I have the most options for quick recovery, so triggering my system with HIIT intervals, and I can build some strength through muscular conditioning, but if I really wanted to maximize my strength, I'd probably need heavier kettlebells or some different equipment. So, some of the insights I've had. So anyway, for today, let's do a quick, let's do a little complex, right? So if we're going to program a complex, let's see what that feels like. We're going to grab an interval timer, and we're going to do 20 seconds of work and 20 seconds of rest. Of course, every time you press pause, this watch changes the type of exercise you do when you're doing multi-sport, which is not what we want. So, 20 seconds. So this would be trying to jolt my body, increase my heart rate. I don't say make it tired, but challenge it, use some energy, and then what I'm trying to teach myself to do is to be able to repeatedly do a task with very little breaks in between. There could be different kinds of exercise I'm doing here, but here I'm also looking at building strength with the kettlebell. I could also do a run or a step up. I have the bench set up here. I'll show you in a second, although I'm not sure you can see very well. 10 seconds of rest. Switch arms. Let's do this again. That was 1 minute. Do second minute. By the way, one of the reasons to include legs in this is because otherwise my heart rate won't go up high enough. That's 2 minutes of work. Now you can see my heart's already racing. Third minute. Don't have much to say anymore at this point. Technique matters. Keep that in mind. If you think the first two are easy, well, coming up on the fourth minute, if I feel I can keep going, otherwise I can just switch to a basic squat, because safety comes first with a ballistic exercise like this. 4 minutes. And take a break. So that's one way to program an interval-like session, right? And take a break, 1 to 2 minutes, and repeat. Now let's go back to my warm-up flow just for a moment. I'm going to keep the 12 here, just because, and then we're also going to wrap up because we're coming up on 1 hour. Oh, yeah, that's definitely a workout. So, why do I pick that particular flow as a warm-up? Well, the swing, obviously you've just seen me do the clean, but the swing, regardless of the weight, is more cardio at this point. Also preparing the hip hinge movement, right? Gets my heart rate up and I'm able to check in with that movement. But ideally, I'd reverse that. So do the hip bridge, glute bridge first, right? You see? So seeing without any weight how my body is moving. All right, it's moving well. Then the flow itself has the basic components that I would like to see in a workout. So it has, or in a full body workout when I'm training for functional movement, it has the hinge. Yeah. It has a pull, because I can turn this into a row, two-handed or one-handed. Has the clean, which is slightly explosive, but also works with the hinge or with a squat. You can do both. I prefer to hinge. I think it feels better for me. Then up here we have a press, but there are some considerations for overhead work. And then from the same position, you can hold it like this or like this. There's of course the squat and back up. Now for the press, doing any overhead work, you need to talk to a doctor or physio to make sure you have the mobility. The same, obviously, for the lower body work, your hips. So there are certain things that a PT should ask you to do. The simplest ones being, can you step, right? Which, by the way, is a squatting motion. If you can see, you just start this in the frame for the bench. If you can see, there's no difference between that. Right, there's a slight difference because I'm working harder against gravity, or this motion, or that motion, right? They're all variations on a squat. So it has a squat. I was showing you the test so you can see if you're stepping, whether there are any strange movements that reveal some sort of, I don't want to say weakness, but some impediment in your body that would require you to do some more mobility. This one, to check if there is any challenge. This is how I discovered that I have a slight mobility issue, my hip. And then the one I was talking about yesterday, let's see if I can show you for your upper body, I can show you up against the wall. It's maybe easier for you to see from that angle, is where you lie flat on the floor, arms out, and your wrists should be against the wall. They really should be. So already here, now I need to have this arm checked because this wrist is against the wall. This one, I cannot get it there. It seems like my forearm is bent in an odd way, so that could be, I would have to have that checked, because that means that I am mobile enough, but this arm is just weird, or that it is actually a mobility issue. And then ideally, you can do this. Yeah, let's see. Now my forearm already is coming away from the wall, so I'm pretty convinced my bones aren't crooked. And then you can push up overhead till your fingers meet, but your elbow and your wrist should stay against the wall. In my case, it doesn't work. So that reveals an issue with my mobility there, and that means requires extra care with any overhead work, which is why we also have a push-up or a floor press instead of an overhead press. Also works different muscles. So yeah, taking all of that together, I guess that kind of brings us to the end of the day. I'm going to do some halos and some club swings, and then we're going to call it a day and get on with other things, which for me means having some coffee and studying. But why don't you tell me what you are going to be up to in the chat before I start wrapping up? Love to hear from you. Evie, hey, what you all up to? Well, I think quite a few people are chilling in, getting ready for their night or their day. As you can see, I'm walking you through things that I've learned this week because I'm studying to be a personal trainer. And I'm going through my exercises this morning. Well, what are you up to, Evie? And thanks for dropping by. I appreciate you dropping in and saying hello. That's very sweet of you. All right. Halos. Right, and then for any overhead work, like I do have the light weights, so even just a simple, like 2 kilos is still resistance. It still helps somewhat. For some people, 2 kilos is a lot, and I can sense like just the way this shoulder moves. I'll put it 100% into words, but that's what we're trying to figure out. Something's off in the weight. and that requires work. And don't shy away from that. Don't train through an impediment. You are, or at least I am, working out to become overall stronger and fitter and healthier. So that means that when we discover things like in my left hip and in my left shoulder, everything on the left side for me, we start working on it to remedy it. So yeah, insights and learning. Even if you don't have the ambition of becoming a personal trainer, given the experience that I've had this week, would recommend everyone to follow a training on this kind of functional movement. And next week is the module on health coaching and nutrition, and I'm sure looking forward to that as well. Before I do my mills, I obviously need to do the shoulder exercise my physio prescribed to me, because otherwise what's the point of going to a physiotherapist and getting their advice? By the way, this is a behavioral thing. Apparently, in some cases, or some research points out that doctors only get 30% of people to take their medicine on time. They have a prescription that they need to fill that they could assume every day. So this is really also, interestingly, a behavioral challenge, and not just a facilities or ability challenge. Seeing if you have all the facilities, you have the medicine right in your house, how do you then get people to actually do it? So one of the things we were taught to do in the course, specifically for mobility, you're resting in between sets. Do a little bit of mobility exercise in between. Very low impact, doesn't wear you out. And all of those repetitions of the mobility exercise will pay off in the long run. Done. Never takes that long once you start. Inside circle. Five times. Other way. So thanks for dropping by this morning, spending some time with me. I really appreciate that. And I hope if you're starting your evening, you're going to have a pleasant evening or night. Be safe if you're going out. If you're starting your day, have a great day. Let me know what you're going to be up to. Outside circle, 5 times. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, follow me on this journey, continue this conversation about health and fitness at any stage in life. I'd love to do that. So let's go ahead, hit subscribe, like some videos, and let's continue the conversation. If you have any questions, you ask me, I can share my experience. Don't take it as advice, just take it as a conversation from someone you might meet at the gym. Shieldcast, that you're having a conversation with. Okay, mill. Left, still a problem. Or, I should put it, not a problem. Not as smooth as I want it to be. And again, coming back to how my shoulder moves, you start to see slight impediments, feel slight impediments through the exercise. There's no pain, just feels slightly off. Alright, that was really it this morning, people. And that was quite the workout, quite the time spent. An hour in, 10 minutes that we spent together. Yeah, I still need to clean up, so I'm going to quickly make myself a cup of coffee and get on with the day. I train for a living, long, active, healthy life. I'm 40, tend to be 100. Want to keep up with my children, my grandchildren, want to go on all kinds of adventures and things in life. So that's what I work out for. Full body, functional strength and conditioning, not gains or hypertrophy. Don't want to run a marathon, don't want to be an ultra runner, don't need to win a high rocks competition. Just want to be ready for whatever life throws at me. And I think I'm pretty well on my way there. Like I say, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. Thanks for dropping by, everyone. Coppermon, Christopher Gabriel, Amritz, was good to see you again. Johnny, have a good day there. Amritz as well. Evie, thanks for dropping by and leaving us a question. Like I always say, the only way to get anything done is by showing up, doing the work. And that's why at 6:34 a.m. this morning, I'm telling you that I'll see you tomorrow. All right, friends?